Welcome all sports fans, everyone across the world. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton, and I'm with the lovely PJ's in the building. That's right. What it do, PJ? That's right. We had a crazy week 11 of the NFL season, man. We're going to go ahead and just recap from start to finish. But before we get to recapping, y'all, don't forget, if you are new to the channel, man, if you like what you see, hit that like button and that subscribe button for UST. Be a part of UST Nation. Subscribe to Uneducated Sports Talk. When you subscribe, you'll have a chance to win $100. We get to 500 subscribers. Someone will win $100, y'all. So thank y'all so much. Yo, TJ Tracy's in the building. Says hello. How was everyone's Tuesday? My Tuesday was wonderful. Had a great day at work. Everything was well, man. So we're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're at 375 and counting. Let's get there pronto, y'all. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We got a week 11 recap of the NFL season. And if you guys see my overall record, you think, oh, he's pretty good. But boy, if you see my last four, talking week 11, week 10, week 9, and week 8, I have been abysmal with my records. But I also said, the worse my record is, the crazier the NFL is. As TJ Trace says, another crazy and great weekend. What's up, TJ Trace, representing the UK? Thank you for the love and support, as always. So, week 11 record, man, we went 5-10, y'all. Another bad one. This is for sure my worst week. My second worst week was 5-9. Now I'm 5-10 for week 11. Just bad overall. Well, our overall record is 92, 72, and 1. So, still a really good overall record because we had a really good first 7 weeks of the season predicting. And then once we got to week 8, it just went downhill from there. But that also means it's a very exciting, very abnormal, crazy NFL season. And it might just be the craziest NFL season so far that we've been a part of. As of right now, there's 13 out of the 16 NFL teams in the AFC that are 500 or above. In the NFC, pretty much every damn body, not the Lions, are in the playoff hunt or playoff race. Mind you guys, the 7th seed, the last and final seed, is a 5-5 New Orleans Saints. Behind them is a bunch of teams in there that have a chance as well. So it tells you how bad the Saints have been playing, and they're 5-5 in the 7th seed. All right. So, I mean, it tells you how crazy this NFL season is. And I'm here for it. I'm enjoying it. So, me and PJ, let's go break it down, man. Our first game of the docket, man, it was Thursday Night Football. If you didn't see that live, if you want to see it on rebroadcast, we did Thursday Night Football, Patriots at the Falcons. And, boy, we got this one right. We saw the way the Falcons are playing the offense right now, but it's not about their offense. It's about the Patriots' defense. That defense, as you can see, a shutout, 25-0. The only shutout of the week, but it was total domination on defense for the Patriots. 25-0 is the final score. They did pick sixes, they had interceptions, fumbles, sacks, all the above to Matt Ryan in game. Patriots win 25-0. Mac Jones, I'm telling you guys, I've said it for like the last 4 or 5 weeks now. You don't want to face the New England Patriots in the playoffs. Oh, and by the way, with this win, and spoiler alert, the Bills lost, the Patriots are now first in the AFC East. It's almost like they never left. They never left, right? Because right now they're first place. They're so used to being in first place in that division. 25-0. Matt Ryan in game. I mean, you talk about no Calvin Ridley, and they just have no Julio Jones with the Titans now. They just beat up on offense. They suck on defense. It's going to be a very bad year for the Falcons. They have a small chance of going to the playoffs. But if you're a Falcons squad, do you really want to go to the playoffs right now? Do you want another good pick? If I'm them, the way they're playing right now, I want a good pick. I mean, it is what it is. You want to think about the future for this team. And when you're at home on Thursday night, I don't care who you're playing. You don't get shut out. You don't get shut out. There's a lot of people pay a lot of money to come see you guys play. You get shut out at home. Linux VR, yes sir. The title, I must have been half asleep when I did it, man. I tried changing it just now. Before the show started, I tried changing it, and I did change it. But I guess the changes didn't really valid into. So I don't even care. I just left it alone. I'll probably change the title after the show is over with. I'll change the title after that. But yeah, it was. I don't know what happened. I couldn't change it. I must have been half asleep doing it. But thanks for the love, though, man. Here we go. So 25-0 is our score, man. Patriots straight domination over the Atlanta Falcons. They're first place now in the AFC East. Falcons fall to last place in the NFC South, where they do not want to be at. Next game on the docket, y'all, the Baltimore Ravens at the Chicago Bears. We got this one right, and we should have got this one wrong, honestly. But we did not know Lamar Jackson was coming into this game with pretty much ill. He wasn't feeling well, but it was not COVID related. So Lamar Jackson is great. 16-13 is the final score. The Ravens beat the Chicago Bears in Chicago by that score. But my goodness, I mean, you had Huntley come in, the former Utes quarterback, and he had a decent game. He did all that you would want him to do. So yeah, he did what you want him to do. And that was to be a game manager, not to fumble the ball, not to turn the ball over. He did that. In the same game, Justin Fields went out with a rib injury. So it just came back in yesterday. He is fine. There's no broken ribs. But he was out for a big period of that game. Andy Dalton came in and stepped in for him. And outside of that one score with Andy Dalton, Bears offense went nowhere. Ravens win this one 16-13. It was defense by both squads. Although, two big plays, especially by Mooney from the Chicago Bears. He had a big play. Also, Goodman had 100 yards receiving as well for the Chicago Bears. So, 16-13 is the final score. The Ravens inked one out. The Bears had a lead late thanks to a big play to Goodwin, but then they just couldn't stop the Ravens' offense at the end. Timely penalties, bad penalties for the Chicago Bears. But the Ravens win 16-13, y'all. And like I said, I do apologize for the title. I changed it like literally at like 6:59. I changed it, and it still ain't go through. So hope you guys can bear me for that one, man. I will change it when it's all said and done. Ravens win 16-13. That was a big win without Lamar Jackson. They needed that win because with the Steelers lost, and the Browns are kind of in limbo. We'll see. All right, TJ Tracy says, rumor has it Matt Nagy is out after Thanksgiving game. Matt Nagy should have been out 2 years ago. But if it happens, I hope it happens fast, right? I hope it does after Thanksgiving. I hope they get blown out. I hope Detroit comes in there and smacks them silly and get their first win. Can you imagine the Lions getting their first win of the season against Matt Nagy and the Bears? Oh my God, yeah, he's getting kicked to the curb. But the Ravens get a big, much needed win. Brandon Lewis says, headline, Bears do not win. What's up, Brandy? Bears do not win. That's right. They do not win. No mail. Yeah, I love it. Hopefully Matt Nagy is gone in a heartbeat, y'all. So that's 16-13. We actually got that right, even though it was even though it was kind of like head scratching with Lamar Jackson being gone, and you're like, oh man, this might be another bad day for the Ravens. They found a way to eke this win out thanks to their defense. So Bears were lost. Their season's pretty much done now. They're 3-7, I believe. They're done. They're done. I mean, they're not coming back from this. Not with the Vikings and the Packers in the same division. They're not going anywhere. All right, speaking of the Packers and the Vikings, our next game. This is our first one that we got wrong. The Vikings, probably the most disappointing and best 5-5 team in the NFL. 34-31, they beat the Green Bay Packers in this wild, crazy shootout towards the end. This game had it all from the running game from Dalvin Cook to the offense from Aaron Rodgers and both Kirk Cousins. Big play receivers. We know that Devante Adams, who is the best receiver in the NFL. Adam Thielen had a big game with a touchdown. Justin Jefferson over 100 yards receiving. It went crazy. And in this game, I did smell. I was like, look, the way the Packers defense has been playing, it looked like they were going to be in control of this game. My opinion was, I said, Vikings won't even score 17 points. I was wrong about that. They scored about, I feel like 17 points in one quarter towards the end. But something is off about this Viking squad. It's almost like they play to their competition. So when they play against teams like the Packers, they come up big. But also when they play against snooze teams or teams that they should sort of beat, they come with the L. So 5-5, this team should be 7-3, maybe 8-2 if you're being real positive about the Vikings. This team should be about 7-3 and 8-2. So the record is not who they are, but 5-5, as Bill Parcells will say, you are what your record is. So maybe they are son of a mediocre team. Packers go 5 wide, 3rd and 2. She said my head hurts. She said Nagy needs a raise. You will want Nagy to stay and get a raise for the Bears. But yeah, the Vikings come out a big win. Look, I didn't expect this. I knew that Aaron Rodgers, who is part owner of the Chicago Bears, but he is not part owner of the Vikings. He's had some L's against the Vikings in the past. I figured the way the Packers defense, although they were shorthanded for a few players in this game, I still thought they would do enough, not only on defense, but offense for sure, because now you had the return of Aaron Rodgers and Devante Adams in the same game. You felt pretty good about yourself. Tough loss by the Packers because they had to lead. They had to lead, and then just craziness happened, as in the Vikings went up by 7. But 2 plays later, Aaron Rodgers scored a touchdown. I thought it was way too much time they put up on there, and it is what it is. But Kirk Cousins came up big, and we don't really say that a lot for Kirk Cousins. So shout out to Kirk Cousins for getting this victory for the Vikings, 34-31 when they needed it the most. Because 5-5 sounds a whole lot better than 4-6 right now. Vikings get a much needed win. Packers with that loss, they dropped to about, I think, 2nd place now, because I kept forgetting about the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about them in just a moment. Sarah Rodgers' toe injuries from COVID. Oh no, COVID affected the toe. I hope not. I know COVID's not affecting people's toes. Bradley says Rodgers' toe injuries from COVID. That is crazy. Speaking of crazy, y'all. The Indianapolis Colts go into Buffalo and not just win, but beat the Bills down. We got this one wrong as well. The Colts went in there, and it was the Jonathan Taylor show. Dude had what? Did he have 5 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns combined? In my fantasy alone, he got 63 points in my fantasy? That was crazy. And here's a quick story. The guy that got John Taylor for my league scored 63 points, and he still lost his matchup. Crazy. It just shows that the other guy just went dumb. I was like, who has John Taylor and loses? Man, it was crazy. So 41-15 was the score. The Colts put it on the Bills. Colts now are 6-5. Bills dropped to what? Is it 6-4 now? And the Bills all of a sudden look like a team that does not favor a Super Bowl run. Right now, the Colts are legitimately a better team than the Bills. Not just in this game, but overall now, the scope. Where they're at right now in the season. After 11 games, After 11 games, the Colts are in a better area than after 10 games of the Bills. You know what I'm saying? 41-15. Carson Wentz is getting better. He looks good. He's not turning the ball over. He's not taking a lot of sacks either. They're relying on their run game now. Jonathan Taylor has just been amazing. That means 8 straight games he has tied Marshall Faulk now. 8 straight games over 100 yards from scrimmage. That is crazy. Taylor went from a guy that was being juggled in the backfield last year to now he may be the MVP. We've been talking about who's MVP, what's going on. We don't know. But if he keeps his pace up, Taylor will no doubtly win the MVP because all of our favorite quarterbacks are going down or getting COVID or getting sick or whatever, having bad games. Where Taylor, pretty much the entire season, we know for sure 8 out of 11 games, he has been dynamic. This team is 6-5 now. From where they started at, they look damn good. And just like the Patriots, I wouldn't want to face the Colts in the playoffs. Like, honestly, you can pretty much name every team in the AFC, the top 8 teams. You're like, I don't want to face that team. I don't want to face that team. I don't want to face that team for various reasons. The Bills, it feels like, as Brandon says, the Bills are hard to figure out. I can't tell. A lot of teams seem to figure them out. The Jaguars beat them by a score of 9-6. Yeah, get this sugar that's out your ear. The Jaguars beat the Bills 9-6. I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. I don't, and I wish I had the answer because this team is far too talented. Not just on offense, but their defense, very turnover-prone type of team. And they're getting beat down by 26 points at home against the Colts. Think about that. That is tough. 41-15 is the final score. The Colts now are trying to get up there with the Titans, who lost today. So the Colts are now pretty much, they're 2 games back, but in honest world, they're 3 games back because they lost both games to the Titans. So every win means something for Indianapolis right now. They've got the urgency. I know that, the right kind of urgency. And the opposite of the right kind of urgency, the Cleveland Browns. Look, I know that Baker Mayfield's hurt. But one, let's give a shout out to the Lions. Yes, they are 0-8-1 or 0-9-1, whatever their record is. But these guys are competing once again. The first about 4 or 5 games of the season, they were competing. Then the next about 3 or 4, they looked like they were trash. And now the last 2, they tied the Steelers. And now they lost to the Browns by 3. Maybe it's just AFC North teams they like playing. They like playing the AFC North. I don't know. Because they lost to the Ravens 19-17. Tied the Steelers 16-16, and now they lost to the Browns 13-10. And this game, it felt like no team wanted to win. But if you're the Browns, you just kind of want to get this one out the way because Baker's still hurt. Their offense is in shambles right now. Their defense is playing lights out though. That's keeping them in these ball games. At the Browns win 13-10. Not much really to talk about as we saw the Lions had no Jared Goff. Look, the Lions are so bad. I don't forgot who the backup quarterback is for the Lions. I heard his name a few times yesterday, but nah. 13-10 is the final score. The Browns win this one, and it was kind of like ugly. It was real ugly, but they got up. They got the win though. And honestly, no matter how it's done, no matter how ugly, no matter how atrocious, no matter how you want to vomit when you see the film, a win is a win. And the Browns needed this win more than the Lions needed because the Lions are trying their best to go winless. So Browns win 13-10, y'all. All right, next game on the docket, we have the Washington football team versus the Carolina Panthers. And this marked Cam Newton's debut, his second debut, his return to Carolina where he was drafted and went to the Super Bowl, and how crazy it was because he was playing against his former head coach, Ron Rivera. So it was kind of like, oh, this was a made to be a match made in heaven type of game. As Brandy says, I am not sure the Browns have a number one receiver. No, Jarvis Landry is supposed to be that guy now with no OBJ, and it's not. I thought the Browns were going to do way better, says Litnas VR, but they did win. They did win, and win is a win. So kudos to Cleveland winning that game. But Washington football team versus the Carolina Panthers. Washington football team wins this one 27-21. Oh, by the way, we got the Bills one wrong. We got the Browns right, barely. And we got this game now wrong. Washington football team wins 27-21. And here's what I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that if you see that game where P.J. Walker was against the Arizona Cardinals last week, P.J. Walker had a great game. Cam got all the accolades. He got all the scores pretty much because he was in the goal line doing his thing. You wanted Cam Newton to be a presence in the goal line. But I was sort of mad because Cam Newton started the whole entire game and played the whole entire game. And they say, you know what, F you, P.J. Walker. I didn't like that. I thought P.J. should have had a bigger role as the starting quarterback, and you bring Cam in to play maybe 30-35% of the plays, and you have P.J. Walker play majority of the games, of the game. I didn't like that. Walker was on the sideline the whole entire game, and Cam Newton played the whole entire game. Now, I know this is his home debut for the season, and you want to showcase him as much as you want, but Cam was still kind of low on the offense, and Cam's, I'm trying to say, he just, I don't like Cam as the starting quarterback fully. I would have integrated P.J. Walker in and had him as your starter because he looked damn good against Arizona. He looked good. So I don't know, man. I mean, but Washington football team, they had, as Brandon says, they have so much talent on defense. What is the deal? Well, now Chase Young is out for the season with a torn ACL. But even with Chase Young, they were struggling on defense. How they won this game? Taylor Heinicke had a good game. He had a great game playing quarterback. They run the ball well with Antonio Gibson. They played some good defense against Carolina, but I was mad because they should have started P.J. Walker. As T.D. Tracy says, they should have started P.J. Walker and then use Cam as Wildcat. Exactly. I would have used Cam in the same thing, use him in the red zone, goal line area. You have P.J. Walker take you from the 20 to the 20. You put Cam in to be that big back who's going to run it or throw it and be a surprise element. They didn't do that. They stuck with fully Cam, and I didn't agree with that one. I didn't agree with that. But Washington got a big win. Now that's back-to-back wins by WFT because they beat the Bucks. And now they've beaten the Panthers. So we're talking about back-to-back wins over NFC South opponents. And that's nothing to sneeze over. He said it has been two XFL QBs going at it, man. P.J. Walker, I enjoyed P.J. Walker in the XFL. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved every second of him in the XFL. Matter of fact, I might watch XFL highlights tonight, man, just to reminisce for a second. But 27-21, it was a big loss. Carolina could have stayed and probably went to fifth in the playoffs if they would have won. Now they're out the playoffs if the playoffs started. They are out of it. At I believe 5 and 6 now. The Panthers are, but Washington gets a big win and they remain in the playoff hunt now. And they're 5 and 5, or they're 4 and 5, one of them. But they're in the playoff hunt, and mind you, it feels like the whole entire NFL is in the playoff hunt, outside of maybe 5 teams out of 32. And that's the way I love it. I know you guys love it as well, man. Our biggest upset, maybe of the year. I don't know. It might be of the year. Yeah, maybe of the year. The Houston Texans. You got that right. The Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans 22-13. It's almost like when you know the NFL, you don't. If you bet your house on the Titans, you outside butt-ass naked right now. And like I said, with the touchdown upside for fantasy, I think Cam is a great flex, but this year it's complete gamble. It is a complete gamble. And he had a great outing for fantasy-wise, Cam did, but it's because of the touchdowns that he had and his running ability. He had the runs in the goal line, that kind of thing. He had a great game. He had 3 touchdowns. But I still thought that for the most of it, it should have been P.J. Walker being the starter. But for now on, we know from now on, Cam Newton will be the starter. So there's no more wondering about P.J. Walker at all. No more wondering about that. Oh, Adrian Peterson has been waived by the Titans. Wow, breaking news by TJ Tracy. I did not know that. I literally just got off a workout about an hour and a change ago, so I just kind of rushed on here. Philip Lindsay also got dropped. Oh, by the Texans? Wow. I don't know, man. Crazy NFL season. Hell, I'll take Philip Lindsay for the Saints. I'll take him. This guy will. But the Texans win 22-13. 22-13, the Texans win this game. And look, Tyrod Taylor, when healthy, Tyrod Taylor's a dynamic quarterback who can also run the ball. And for some reason, Tennessee at home, that was my issue. You're at home. This is a game that you are favored by a long shot. You should win this game. You just beat down the Saints. You just beat down the Rams. And then you lose to the Texans. If you bet for the Texans, you won a bunch of freaking money. I know that. 22-13 is your score, your final. And A.J. Brown went out in this game with a chest issue. So they're already thin at the receiving corps. There was no Julio Jones, no A.J. Brown for most of it. And it got to the point where the Titans had to throw. And honestly, you see their wide receiver corps and who are they actually throwing to? One of their guys did get over 100 yards receiving. But still, Ryan Tannehill, this is not what you want to see. And this is more, there's either really good Tannehill or there's really bad Tannehill. The Miami Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill, either really good or really bad. And right now we saw with no running game, you put the onus on Tannehill's shoulders, it usually doesn't work out right. But Titans were at odds for this game because of the loss of A.J. Brown in the middle of that game and no Julio Jones. So, but still, that's 2 losses now. The Titans have lost now to the, who did the Titans lose to? Was it the Jaguars? Or was it the Jets? Titans have lost to the Jets and now the Texans. So 2 really bad losses for Tennessee so far this year. So we definitely got that wrong, and I'm pretty sure everyone got that wrong. So many people wasted their fantasy on Titans defense to get a big nothing. I'm that person. Yes, sir. My free league, my little free league that I can really care less about. I had the Titans defense, and I got maybe 1 point. All right, here we go. 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. We actually got this one right. The 49ers are one of those teams that look good. They are smack dab, just like the Eagles, just like Washington football team, Carolina Panthers. They're not in the playoffs, but boy, they are like a half a game or tied for the playoffs. They win 30-10 over the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we have raved so much about this Jaguars defense. The 49ers just ran it down their throats, had timely passes. They ran it with Deebo Samuel, who's more than just a wide receiver now. With the injury to Elijah Mitchell with his finger, Samuel got a lot of runs and a lot of carries in, as well as Wilson. And the 49ers ran it down Jacksonville Jaguars' throat, had timely passes to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, as we've been seeing all year now. It feels like since George Kittle has come back to this 49ers squad, they have upgraded on offense. Not just like mentally, but I mean, they look like they belong now on offense. 30-10 to score, as Luke Knox says, I had the Titans kicker, so I feel your pain. Yeah, bro. Yes, sir. Titans had an overall just horrible experience, man. 30-10, 49ers win this. Trevor Lawrence, look, the Jaguars aren't going to score a lot against a lot of teams. They're just not going to score. That is the God-given truth. Jaguars will not score a lot of points, and they haven't all year scored big-time points. Maybe 1 or 2 games, but outside of that, they're more of a safe bet to score 16 points kind of team. The 49ers did have to do this is a must-win game, an easy victory for the 49ers, in my opinion. Had to get it. They win this one 30-10, and they remain in that NFC playoff picture. And with the way the Rams looking, they might be even fighting for an NFC West title if they can continue the same trend. Mind you, 49ers have a very easy schedule coming up for the next couple days. A very easy schedule. For the next couple weeks, I mean. So I like the 49ers and their chances to keep on winning for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Next game on the docket, we have the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. We got this one wrong. We went with a gamble. I know I did went with a gamble, and I said, man, this might be the type of game the Jets win. They started Joe Flacco. Elijah Moore for the Jets now has come along for the last 5 games now. He's had at least 10 fantasy points or more in 5 straight NFL games. The Dolphins, though, with this win, they're now really in contention for a playoff spot. They're now 4-7. They've won 2 in a row, and usually 7 losses by week 11. You're like done. No, not this year. They have a great chance. They're only about 2 games out of the 7th seed. So the Dolphins looking good. Their defense we saw against the Ravens. And we saw the last 3 or 4 weeks now the Dolphins playing really, really good defense. I like their defense. 24-17 win over the New York Jets. They look, they're supposed to get this win, right? Dolphins went 10-6 last year. It's not a fluke to go 10-6. They didn't make the playoffs, but it's not a fluke to go 10-6. I'm sorry. You don't fluke out to go 10-6. Dolphins win this one 24-17. They shut down Joe Flacco, shut down the running game. I know Michael Carter got hurt somewhere in that game. 24-17 is the score. I keep saying that because think about it. It was only a 7-point game. That means the Jets had their battles. The Jets had their chances in this game. Tua came back in. He was the starter for good. He should be starting for good for the rest of the season. He went in there, timely passes to Gesicki and those tight ends. He looked good with those that three-headed monster tight end click the Dolphins have are pretty good with Hollins, Gesicki, and I forgot the name was Smite, one of those guys. But they look good right now. Dolphins 2 wins in a row against a really good Ravens team and a really bad Jets team. So we'll find out more about this Dolphins team later on. But I cannot wait for Week 12. It's going to be some great matchups, y'all. Eagles beat the Saints 40-29. Anyways, next. No, I'm playing. We'll talk about it. The Philadelphia Eagles beat down the New Orleans Saints by a score of 40-29. Don't let the score fool you. This was a beatdown. It was close because the Saints decided to finally play a little offense towards the end. But the Eagles went 40-29, and they did it with their run. The run game. Mind you, the Saints are the number 1 team in the NFL for stopping the run. But it's almost like last season. The last time the Saints gave up a 100-yard rusher in the last, 5 years now? They've only given up 1 time. And it was to 2 people in the same damn game. And that was the Eagles last year. So I knew that the Eagles might have some sort of running attack, but man, they put it down on the Saints. You had over 90 yards rushing with Miles Sanders, over 70 yards rushing was Jalen Hurts, over 60 yards rushing was Jordan Howard. I mean, this team was putting it on the New Orleans Saints in that running game. Saints couldn't stop it. Oh, by the way, turnovers. Darius Slay with a pick 6 all the way. As TJ Tracy says, yes, let's go fly, Eagles, fly. But yeah, straight up dominance, man. Give the Saints a little credit. 15 players injured. So it's been a horrible season. 15 players, either they're out for 2 weeks or more, or they're out for the season. 15 players. It's very hard to win like that. Taysom Hill did get a big 4-year extension that could be worked up from what it says $65 million to $100 million, depending on what position he plays. It's a hybrid contract, so running back / quarterback. And I'm saying if you're doing that, just start the man. I mean, start Taysom now. Just blow it up. Just start him. Let's go with it. I mean, just 2 years ago, Sean Payton said Taysom Hill is the modern day Steve Young. Well, now is the time to actually showcase that once again. But the Eagles win 40-29. Jalen Hurts is getting better. This offense is getting better. The defense, in my opinion, has always been good. They've always been a bend but don't break type of defense. But the offense kind of undershadowed that defense. But I'm telling you right now, the Eagles, if their offense gets together and they're getting better week by week, they could challenge for not just the playoff spot, but if Dallas somehow loses this game against the Raiders on Thursday for Thanksgiving, the Eagles win next week, they're just 1 game back for the NFL. They're just 2 games back, but about 7 weeks to go. So the Eagles offense looking good. Devontae Smith looking good. Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts. I think that when the offense comes together, they will be a dynamic tool. And I was thinking more of next season, but if they can get it this season, watch out for the Eagles. They're only a half game out of the playoff spot right now. 40-29 is the final score. Saints, not much you can do with a bunch of injuries, but they're trying. And as a Saints fan, I just don't want to talk about it. Woosah. Who that said they're going to beat them Saints? A lot of teams saying that right now. All right, calm down, Carlos. Calm down. All right. As TJ Trey says, honestly, Sanders is risky. Sanders did get a fumble in that game, a fumble loss, as a matter of fact. So yeah, you're right. Also, Dallas Goedert and Devante Smith are the only two people who are catching the ball. Yeah. Well, right now, that's all you need, honestly, in my opinion, is Dallas Goedert and Devante Smith. And he's looking better every single week now. He's not just a stick figure anymore. He's a viable weapon for the Eagles. Bengals versus the Raiders. And I really thought this had the potential for explosiveness. I really thought this had a potential to be like one of those 35 to 38 games, something like that. It was not. The Bengals, and it took them about 3 quarters to really get on going to really spread this win out. They went 13-13 over the Raiders, 32-13, excuse me. And they didn't really get any big plays from their receivers. It was more of a running attack, and good defense by the Bengals. The Bengals, Joe Mixon over 100 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns. He was it, and they played great special teams, and they played great field position game. The Raiders just cannot get out of their own asses when it comes down to offense. Waller did have a bounce back game after having about 4 straight games of subpar play, but Darren Waller did have a really good game, over 100 yards receiving for Darren Waller, but it wasn't enough for the Raiders as their running game was nothing. I mean, Josh Jacobs couldn't get anywhere, and when you go one-dimensional, I don't care who you play, once you're one-dimensional, you're stuck like Chuck. You're stuck. Bengals won this one 32-13 over the Raiders. Good play by the Bengals. Then a big win because they had lost 2 in a row, and that keeps them in playoff contention, as well as the Raiders are still in it as well. But they go to, I believe, 6-4. Raiders go to 5-5. The Saints and Eagles, we got that one wrong. Jets and Dolphins got that one wrong as well. Oh yeah, and the Raiders and the Bengals got that one wrong as well. So it was a bad week for your boy. Bad week for your boy. So 32-13 is the score. Let's see. And we have more Philly talk. We said Lip Knox VR says even with Sanders coming back from injury and the team playing a different style of ball from start of season, or Sanders back, yeah, I understand that he will get a yard and some touchdowns, but he does have a really bad habit of fumbling. I saw it, yeah. Matter of fact, he should have fumbled. It should have been 2 fumbles, but the referees called 4 progress. So I'm mad about that. Anyway, you saw how my voice got loud. That's how I am during Saints games, but a million times worse. All right, so everyone's pretty much America's game of the week. We had the Dallas Cowboys at the Kansas City Chiefs. No, this score is not a glitch. It's the right score. The Chiefs win this one 19-9. This is another game we got wrong. Although, if I would have knew that Amari Cooper was not playing, I would have changed my prediction to the Chiefs. But we don't do that. We don't flip flop. We stick with our gut. Now we do this on Tuesdays. And I think Thursday or Friday, they announced that Amari Cooper will be out. So 19-9 is our score. And we said, sorry for Eagles talk, Sanders on waivers. Oh, no, man. No problem with that. Hey, talk on, man. Talk on. Any talk is good talk around here. No problem. Chiefs winners won 19-9 over the Cowboys. Cowboys couldn't even score a freaking touchdown. That is 2 out of the last 3 weeks now. They look bad. Now, there was no Amari Cooper. So I knew that things would be difficult for Dallas. But you figured they would have to run the ball. No, they did not run the ball nearly enough as I thought they should have. They should have been running the ball all over the Chiefs defense. They decided to be pass happy, go 5 wide, throw the football here and there, go 4 wide. And it did not help that that CeeDee Lamb was out of the game after halftime because of a concussion. And he may or may not be ready for Thursday on Thanksgiving against the Raiders. He may not be ready for that game. So it finds out if he can pass concussion protocol. I don't know. I don't see it happening, but you never know. 19-9, the Chiefs' defense was the big part of this game. They were just all over Dak Prescott. Made him fumble. He was throwing interceptions. He was just looking bad all over the place. And I like that the defense for the Chiefs won this game. Not the offense, because the offense had so many chances to put the nail in the coffin in this game, and they couldn't take advantage of those chances. The Chiefs winners won 19-9, y'all. That's a weird score. I've never seen that kind of score before, 19-9, but it tells you it's a sort of a weird game. But one thing about the Chiefs, their run game came to play today. Their running game was good, and their front four was excellent. Excellent. And if this Chiefs defense / running game is the team that's going to come for this Chiefs squad, another team I don't want to play in the playoffs. One, their offense. We talk about Tyreek Hill, obviously Pat Mahomes, and Travis Kelce. They have been there and done that. Been there and done that. They have. I'm not worried about the offense in the playoffs. It's their defense, but if their defense comes out with the firepower they have the last 2 or 3 weeks now, well, 4 weeks, because their defense is really, really good. This team will be hard to beat by anybody. 19-9 is the final score. Chiefs remain on top of the AFC West, while the Cowboys still on top of the NFC East, but they go down lower in the NFC overall conference. So he is a high-risk, high-reward player. Also, screw those Cowboys. That's right. Screw the Cowboys, says TJ. Lipnock says, how do you think about Mahomes? He got more points against the Raiders for fantasy than the other 3 of the 4 past weeks combined, I think. Hey, I don't know, man. It's a defenses are playing Mahomes. They're forcing him to dink it and dunk it, and they're saying, you know what, we're just going to hope that one of your guys, a la Tyreek Hill, like drops a football and it lands in our arm, or somebody fumbles it. They're hoping for that. Like, you be your own worst enemy. We want you to be your own worst enemy. And so Mahomes isn't going to have, outside that Raiders game, that was crazy. But this game against the Cowboys is going to be your typical Mahomes game for this year when they face tough competition from defenses. Dallas has a really good defense. Another bend but don't break defense, a turnover happy defense. And I think this was kind of symbolic for the Chiefs season right now. And it might be a bunch of humble pie for the Cowboys and their fan base as well. Their first time pretty much on the road, on grass in a long time against a good team. Last time we saw it was against the Bucs in week 1. Now they face the Chiefs and they only scored 9 points, no touchdowns. So it might be some humble pie for the Dallas Cowboys. But they're still first place in the NFC East, as Chiefs remain first place in the AFC West. Next game on the docket, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. And the Cardinals winners won 23-13. And I'm not going to say end of a dynasty. I won't go that far for the Seahawks. I won't go that far. I'm not going to say end of a dynasty. But it is the end of this year. It is the end of this year. Finally, the defense looks good. They look great. The Seahawks do over the last, 6 weeks now, they've had a really good defense. But now their offense, for some reason, taking a step back. Ever since DK Metcalf became this diva guy, this diva receiver, I'm not going to blame it all on Metcalf, but it's not a coincidence that when he becomes so diva-ish, the offense, tanks or falls or just looks kind of average now. We are so used to those big bomb plays. We used to Russell Wilson running around hitting. Now, Russell did miss about, 4 games or 3 games? And Geno Smith played okay, winning one of those games for sure. But it might be that Arizona is good because, mind you, there is still no Kyler Murray. Mind you, there is still no DeAndre Hopkins. In Seattle, this has got to be one. We got this one wrong as well. I thought Seattle would win this one. It was up for grabs because I felt like Seattle would be more desperate. They were not desperate at all. Matter of fact, Arizona was the more desperate team, as 2 touchdowns from Zach Ertz, 88 yards receiving. And when you're Colt McCoy or you're a backup quarterback or you're a young quarterback, you rely on your tight end. And Zach Ertz at his peak is like a top 3 tight end in the NFL at his peak. TJ Trey says Russ needs to leave Seattle. Oh man, can Russ come to New Orleans and we give Taysom Hill that running back money instead? Yeah, I would love that, man. But beggars can't be choosy, bro. Can't be choosy. But Russ, I don't see Russ leaving Seattle unless Seattle just really does him dirty. I mean, he's got some nice offensive weapons. Chris Carson's out for the year, though. That really hurt Seattle in their run game. But The Seattle team, not a lot of flaws, but for some reason, the only flaw is the loss column for Seattle. They dropped to 3-7 now, looking like they're about one more game away from being done for the NFL season already. As the Cardinals now are an NFL best 9-2. So I do apologize in my live for Monday Night Football. I was saying everybody but the Cardinals. I kept saying the Cardinals, the Packers, Cowboys, Buccaneers, and was forgetting about the Cardinals. And they're the number one team in the NFL right now, record-wise, 9-2. They win 23-13, a big win by the backup quarterback. And there's still a bunch of weapons: AJ Green, Zach Ertz, Christian Kirk. They got a lot of weapons on this Cardinals team. And it's funny how Colt McCoy always seems, no matter what team he plays for, he always seems to get about 3 or 4 starts a year. So shout out to Colt McCoy, the former Texas Longhorn. And I'm not even a Texas Longhorn guy, but I like doing that. They win a big game on the road against a divisional rival opponent with a healthy Russell Wilson, a healthy DK Metcalf, and a healthy Tyler Lockett, and they win by 10. 23-13. All right. Sunday Night Football. This game, you guys know when I watched this game, man. Look at the highlights. This is crazy. 41-37, the Los Angeles Chargers get a big-time victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I thought the Steelers would win this game. If you go back to my Week 11 picks and predictions, I said the Steelers would win 20-17. I thought it'd be one of those slobber knocker games and one of those tight games where teams making mistakes, I believe. But I did not know that TJ Watt would be out of this game. So it made it that much more easier for the Chargers to run the football and to use my big dog, Austin Eckler, on my fantasy. He gave me 35 points in fantasy, but he had 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns for him and about 110 yards from scrimmage, something like that. So he went dumb in that game. But I did say this. It's no coincidence the Chargers look better when they got Austin Eckler involved. I know he's dealing with a hip injury of some sort. But I kept saying this, if you want to win, and I wasn't even being biased because I have him on my fantasy, on both my fantasies, as a matter of fact. I was just saying, if you want to freaking win, Austin Eckler has got to be your starter, and he's got to get a bunch of looks, a bunch of touches to win, because he is dynamic. He had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 touchdowns in this game. But the Steelers are the ones who really surprised me. First of all, Najee Harris is good. I like Najee Harris. That was a great pick by Pittsburgh. And they kind of revamped their O-line so that they were better on offense. And Deontay Johnson had a great game. And Big Ben still got it. Big Ben now showed me, okay, he's reverted back to himself a little bit. He's never going to be agile anymore. He's never going to be fluid. But he is still smart. You cannot take his mentality, his mental statement away. So it's all about the mentality for Big Ben. I like this game. Even in a loss, I think that Mike Tomlin likes this loss. For some reason, you know what? I wanted to see that by the offense. I needed to see that by the offense. I needed that. But at the end, Chargers winners won 41-37. Had a Mike Williams 53-yard touchdown at the end to put them over the thing. John Clement says, how's it going? John, what's up, man? Thanks for the love and support, man. Thank y'all for the love and support. John says, what's good? We are doing well, y'all. Oh, by the way, don't forget to go ahead and like. If you are new to the channel, man, hit that like button. Thank y'all for the likes from yesterday. We had our career high in likes without the Grassi Posse. We had 26 likes, y'all. That was awesome. Our goal was 20 likes, and we got 26. So thank y'all for that. That means a lot to me. So that's our biggest one without the Grassi Posse. That came up big time, people. Thank y'all for the love for that one. It was huge, man. But if you're Mike Tomlin, you enjoy the fact that your team is capable of scoring 37 points in the game. You like that part. And then, you know, there's no TJ Watt, so you understand that. No Minka Fitzpatrick. That's why the Chargers kind of took advantage of this game. But yeah, 41-37 is the final score. And the Chargers, that was a big win. That was a big win by the Chargers. They needed that win because they had a couple back-to-back losses. Not looking so good in the AFC West. They already let go of the lead to the Chiefs, and now they're trying to fight and claw their way after losing games they should have been winning against a few teams. So it's good to see them win at home, because it feels like every time I turn around, the Chargers are playing at home. It feels that way. I'm like, Chargers have, 12 home games this year? It feels like it. So they get a win at home, because you got to take care of home, because you will eventually start going on the road again and facing big-time talent. So shout out to the Chargers. I wish I really would have done this game, but I had to spend time with my wife, so I had to sacrifice it, because this game was awesome. 41-37 is a big win by Herbert, who did it on the ground as well. He almost had 100 yards rushing. I know he had, at one point, 93 yards rushing late in that fourth quarter, so he may have got over 100. I'm not sure. But Justin Herbert, though, he's wise beyond his years, and he's going to be a really good one for years to come, man. Shout out to Herbert and the Chargers for winning this one 41-37. And our final game on the docket, we have Monday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the New York Giants. Last year, we had this game on Monday Night Football, and the Bucs only won by 2, 25-23. This year, a little different. Now they're at home. There's still no Antonio Brown, but the return of Robert Gronkowski was back, and it was a big return for Tom Brady's favorite target, and Gronkowski had some big plays. He had about 60 yards receiving, but it was nice to see him out there. But the Giants, they look bad on offense. Daniel Jones reminding people why we still don't trust Daniel Jones. Now, I've been a Daniel Jones, I've been a big Daniel Jones fan. I said, you know what? He just needs weapons around him. He just needs an O-line to protect him. He'll be fine. But I saw this game with Daniel Jones. I mean, whenever he was off of his mark, whenever he had to somewhat run or slide or sidestep, he looked horrible throwing that football. He looked horrible. You got Kenny Galladay on your team. You had to return Saquon Barkley. You have some really good pieces. You got Tony now, who's evolving into this somewhat Tyreek Hill-like receiver now. You've got guys who can do that. Get him involved. Daniel Jones, I mean, every time he wanted to go deep, he was either inaccurate or he just threw it away or looked funny. And his interceptions weren't just bad interceptions. They were horrible, game-changing interceptions from Daniel Jones. Mind you guys, it was 10-10 at one point in this game, and the Giants had it and looking like they had a chance to be competitive in this game. The Buccaneers said, nah, the hell with that. They took care of business. After 2 losses in a row by the Bucs, they finally get a victory over the Giants in this one. And these are the type of games, we keep saying it, you have to win this game. When you talk about the difference of the Buccaneers and the Giants, of talent, the Bucs so much more talented. Their front seven is good. Their offense is good. Giants, they're kind of ho-hum on offense, and they're okay on defense, you know. But this is a game that the Buccaneers at home had to win, and they got the W. So the Buccaneers win 30-10. Now with a 2-game lead in the NFC South, and somewhat comfortable. Somewhat, because now the Saints don't scare you. The Panthers don't scare you. The Falcons are damn sure don't scare you. So the Buccaneers, only team that can beat the Buccaneers in the NFC South is themselves. So that win, Tom Brady over almost 300 yards passing. He had like 3 touchdowns. Had a really good game for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I mean, spread it around pretty beautifully, in my opinion. That being said, though, the Buccaneers win this one 30-10, and that is our Monday night matchup. And that is our Week 11 recap and headlines of this NFL season. Now, I'm going to do tomorrow. All right, here's the schedule. Tomorrow, we're doing NBA live commentary. Tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. Central Time. We're doing the Brooklyn Nets at the Boston Celtics. So if you guys want to watch some great NBA action, come holler at your boy tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. Central Time. I cannot wait to do that one. Thursday, I want everyone to enjoy their Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all. I hope you guys enjoy time with yourself and your family because you guys deserve it, man. Thank you for the love. Friday, I'm going to find out tomorrow if I'm doing something on Friday. But for sure, at halftime on Wednesday, I will do my Thanksgiving football predictions, the Thanksgiving Day predictions out of those 3 games. And then on Friday, I will probably do our Week 12 picks and predictions for Sunday's matchups. That's what we're going to do. Saturday, we'll probably take it easy on Saturday. We'll see. And Sunday we're back at it again with not one but two games. Our first game on the docket is going to be the Rams versus the Packers. I cannot wait for that one. That'll be on at 3:15 p.m. Central Time. And then we're doing Sunday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday night. I'll be on at 7:05 p.m. Central Time. So we got a back-to-back day, back-to-back live event going on for Sunday. So y'all be ready for that. It's a jam-packed Sunday for you guys, man. Hopefully we can get a lot of subscribers, a lot of views for both games combined, man. I cannot wait, man. So thank y'all for the love and support, man. For the homegirl, PJ. You had a great time, PJ? She says still undefeated, y'all. PJ has not lost a game yet. She's only tied one game. She's not lost a game yet. She is just phenomenal with her picks, man. That being said, for the homegirl, PJ, I'm your boy Carlos Clayton, and this has been another episode of Uneducated Sports Talk, our Week 11 recap and headlines. See you guys on tomorrow for our NBA action of the Brooklyn Nets at the Boston Celtics, man. So all sports fans, you guys know what time it is. Shout out to Lip Knox VR. Shout out to TJ Tracy. Shout out to Brandy Lewis stepping in. John Clements stepping in as well. Thank y'all for the love, man. The OG crowd is in full effect. And hope I can see you guys later on in life, man. God bless you guys. And that being said, all sports fans, you guys know what time it is. Stay smart. Stay uneducated. Peace. I love you, mama. We are out. See you guys tomorrow.